Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday, May 22nd meeting. Join us in the pledge. Councilwoman Noel. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Here.
Councilman McCarthy.
Here.
Councilwoman Noah.
Here.
Councilwoman Inzarello.
Here.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes. Okay, we'll begin sitting as Board of Water Commissioners. Deputy Clerk.
Minutes approval for the May 6, 2025 meeting and full-time appointment of Dominic Durazzo to the position of water meter reader in the Smithtown Water District.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes. Reconvene as Town Board.
Correspondence is special event, Kings Park Rocks, Monday on Main, July 7, 2025, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., and special event, Community Association of Greater St. James Summer Nights, June 25th, July 23rd, and August 20th. There are 2 public hearings today to be presented by Janice Hansen.
Afternoon, Supervisor, members of the board. The purpose of our first public hearing is to consider an amendment to section 318-14 of the Town Code, operating restrictions for vessels. The proposed amendment would add a subsection E to the code stating no person shall operate a motorized vessel without a boating safety certificate. Unless there are any questions, that concludes this presentation.
Questions by the board?
No.
Anyone in the audience wish to be heard on this public hearing? There being none, move to close.
Second.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello.
Yes.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.
The second public hearing is for the board to consider an amendment to Chapter 112, Building Construction, specifically Section 112-3, designation of the building director would be changed to designation of Chief Building Inspector. This is solely to change, to update the title of this particular official, and the references throughout the code would also be changed from building director to chief building inspector throughout the rest of the code as well. So unless there are any questions, that concludes that.
Questions by the board?
No, thank you.
Anyone in the audience wish to be heard in this public hearing? There being none, move to close.
Second.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello.
Yes.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes. I'll make a motion to adopt.
Second.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello.
Yes.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.
There are 3 advertisements for public hearings, all to be held on June 10, 2025, at 2 p.m. Town Hall, Victor Teelis Boardroom. The first is to consider proposed local law 8-2025 amendments to the Traffic Code, Chapter TC 5-1, commercial vehicles weight limits as it relates to truck exclusions. The second is to consider amendments to Chapter 233 of the Town Code entitled Shellfish as it relates to shellfishing. And the third is to consider proposed local law 9-2025, Chapter 164 of the Town Code entitled Fire Prevention in regards to wood-burning stoves.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
For consent agenda, you have minutes approval from the May 6th, 2025 meeting, items 1 through 9, and resolution items 1 and 2 as they appear on the agenda.
Anyone on the board wish to remove any resolutions from the consent agenda? Mr. Clerk?
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah.
No.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
Town Board to authorize the town clerk to advertise for bid 25058, used tow behind beach rake.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
Town Board to approve the following: an agreement with Safety Marking, Inc. to perform pavement marking services, authorize payment to Eurotechnic Diagnostics in the amount of $21,837.09 for repairs to a 2022 Ford Interceptor utility vehicle. Smithtown Animal Shelter to purchase a Ford Transit van from Schultz Ford Lincoln. The extension of bid 24081 for lumber, plywood, and building supplies. Annual time and attendance hosting and support services through SHI Government Solutions. The establishment of a pre-qualified professional services consultant list. Ratification of the supervisor's execution of a side letter of agreement with the Smithtown Administrators Guild regarding the Deputy Registrar of Vital Statistics position effective May 1, 2025. Rescind Resolution 2025-496. Suffolk County Local Funded Opioid Settlement Contract. The town attorney or appropriate official to enter into a stipulation of settlement or agreement and consent to the entry of an order with regard to various tax certiorari matters for various tax years per recommendation of the sole assessor and town attorney. The appointment of Walter Scott and Robert Von Bernowitz to the Smithtown Historical Advisory Board, May 22nd, 2025 to December 31, 2026. And the town board to concur that the Senior Citizen Center Improvements Project is a SECRA Type 2 action as stated in a memorandum from David A. Barnes, Environmental Protection Director, dated May 16, 2025, with regard to an application for funding. A letter of opposition to New York State Legislature bids number S.188 and A.2586.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
The town board to authorize the supervisor to execute an agreement to participate in a joint municipal cooperative bidding program with Eastern Suffolk BOCES. Agreement with Hopog Eagles to accept a financial donation to the town to be used towards the purchase of one batting cage to be installed at Whitman Hollow Park in Comac, and an agreement to accept memorial bench donations to be placed at various town parks.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
The town board to approve settlement in the matter of Peter Zafiris versus the town of Smithtown.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
The town board to authorize an amendment to the Uniform Traffic Code and authorize the Safety Traffic Department to install and maintain a no parking sign on Climb Court.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
Personnel items A through V as they appear on the agenda.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes, and I'm going to accuse myself from aye.
Councilwoman Inzarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes. That concludes resolutions. Do we have anyone wishing to speak?
Yes.
Okay, before we start, public participation is subject to the rules of decorum which you have on your speaker card as per Town Code Section 76.7. The public portion is for town-related matters only. Any unsubstantiated, unverified, or material false information will be interrupted. The 3-minute rule will be strictly enforced. When you hear the tone, you have 1 minute to complete your statement. Please give your name and address to the board.
Alan Tepperman.
Thank you for meeting with me today, Council. I'm going to make it short. I've had a problem. I live at 35 Rose Court, Smithtown, New York, which is the corner of Rose and Laurel. This has been going on for approximately 1.5 years to 2 years. I've had flood problems in my basement due to the street flooding. We've made notice of it. We've sent pictures to the town. I've contacted the town attorney numerous times. We've asked if there's something could be done. I also foiled records from the town attorney. I also foiled records from the highway department, okay? And I got one notice back saying that they had somebody come by and check the drain, and they found just sticks. Never once did they open the drain to find out what happened. At that point, I kept on pursuing, trying to get to a result. My being here is not to sue the town. My being here is just to be heard and also to be compensated for the problem that the town caused. Finally, Superintendent Robert Murphy did come out. I've spoke to Martin Simons, the assistant attorney. I've been to this office, I would say probably 10 to 15 times, between trying to see Mr. Werheim, trying to see the town attorney, and every time I've come here, no one answers me. I've been told numerous times that people will get back to me. Numerous times. By Martin Simon. I saw him on a Thursday, tells me he'll contact me on a Friday about giving me information. Nothing. Finally, Mr. Murphy came out, saw us, looked at the drain. I had a specialist come there, a sewer person come there to defend me. We opened up the drain, and Robert Murphy's first thing was, "This is our fault. We did not know, we were negligent, and we did not open up, we never serviced the drain." Now, how after somebody from the highway department, his name was, I don't have it with me, it was Ryan, I believe it's his assistant, said it was just sticks, but Mr. Murphy says this is the problem. Finally, Mr. Murphy talked to Martin Simon. I tried to speak to the head lawyer. Never a response, never a return, nothing. Not a phone call, not an email, nothing. And I've been down here numerous times. Mr. Simons meets me downstairs, knows nothing about the case. Nothing. He goes, "I just wanted to come down and meet with you to hear you out." His answer to me, after I explained some of the things I explained to you, was, "Well, I guess you just have to sue us." I've been a town resident for 61 years. My family grew up here. My kids live here. How somebody who works for the town tells somebody who's going through something like this, "You have to sue me." I talked to Mr. Werheim in December of last year. I called Mr. Werheim's office after they told me that it was the town's fault. Not one person from Mr. Werheim's office, and this is no disrespect to you, sir, but not one person. I spoke to both of your secretaries. They both met me outside and told me they'd contact me the next day. I've never heard from any of them. I have to pursue them and make the calls. I don't understand being a resident here, finding out that the problem is from the town, because as soon as Mr. Simons, who lied to me, told me that he never spoke to Mr. Murphy, I went to Mr. Murphy's office and I spoke with him. He said, "No, I spoke to Mr. Simons." Mr. Simons has never once, since they found out the results, okay, I don't know what else to do. I'm here to ask you people, what do I do?
Okay, your time is up, Mr. Tubman, so just two things. One,
Sure.
probably by the response from my office was put forth to you because it was in the town attorney's office. So that's probably why. There would be no reason for me to call you back until I hear from the attorneys. That being said,
But I did ask for you to call me back. I left messages with your secretaries numerous times.
okay, well, they might have referred those messages to the town attorney.
Which
because
they
it was
did,
in
sir,
the-
and I agree with you,
So-
they did. But why didn't I get a response back?
What we will do, I will convene a meeting next week with Mr. Murphy and the town attorney's office.
Can I
and
be
we
there?
will. Excuse me?
Can I be there?
Well, we'll call you at the conclusion of the meeting. I need to talk to them first to
But-
find out, because you're making an assumption here that Mr. Murphy told you it's the town's problem. I've never heard that from my office. I need to speak to him about that statement. Okay?
What I would like, but my question is to you, sir. I want to be at the meeting to defend myself, because
Okay,
I
no.
know. And
After-
Mr. Murphy also spoke to Mr. Simons. who
After
told
I,
me that.
after I speak to the attorney's office and Mr. Murphy, I will call you personally.
That-
then
And
we
I know
will-
I know you will.
And
but-
then we will have a meeting with you present and finish up what we're doing with the case.
Okay, one other question is, your secretaries told me that they did say that they were gonna speak to Mr. Simons about this, and I know they must have spoke to him numerous times. And I would just like to know why I couldn't get a courtesy email, phone call, or anything.
Okay, well, I'm gonna convene a meeting next week.
Okay.
okay? And then I will call you myself
Okay.
after the conclusion of the meeting.
Yeah.
And then we will put a meeting together with you and we'll get, find out exactly where this whole case is.
Okay, because they did come out after Mr. Murphy did say to me, if they would have let me know, if the town attorney would have let them know that there was issues, he would have took care of it right away, and I had not one, but 2 floods.
Okay.
And I have pictures and documents of everything.
Okay,
Is it directly in front of your house?
No, it's on I live on a corner, and it's on the corner. And it's my property, and the water, which I have pictures, okay, was up to here in the street,
So it's on Rose or it's on Laurel?
Laurel.
It's on Laurel,
It's
but
on
that
Laurel.
corner, but that,
Yes, on that
Okay.
corner. And like I said, Mr. Murphy was out there. He saw everything. We had to lift up the manhole cover that was down. We had to get equipment to get it up because the person who came there, the other gentleman from the highway department, Ryan, said all he saw was sticks. Okay? When we lifted up that cover, Mr. Murphy was standing right there and said, this has never been serviced and I can't tell you how many years. And he goes, oh, we're also gonna probably have to rip up the street because there's a problem. And the problem that I had was, I did call Mr. Simons after. And he told me he never spoke to Mr. Murphy. So I didn't trust it, so I drove to Mr. Murphy's office. And he told me in person that he had spoke to Mr. Simons. My biggest problem is, I understand whatever the situation is, how about a little respect, just to call me back, email me, text me, because every other time he did, but soon as they found out
right,
that Mr. Murphy said, this is the town's fault, I never heard from anybody, and I understand Mr. Wertheim pushing it back onto the town attorney. I would like to know why I couldn't get some, whether I right or wrong,
right.
a response. And so you guys know, I called on this Tuesday again, in the morning, and I spoke to one of, Mr. Wertheim, I spoke to one of your secretaries, and they said, I'm gonna go right over to Mr. Simon's office and get him now, because it seems every time he was in court. Fine, you're in court. Email, text me, something. I'm not looking to make a big deal about it, but what am I supposed to do? My wife almost had a nervous breakdown. We had 4,000 gallons of water in my basement. Twice. The first time it happened in January, they told me, Mr. Simons told me, oh, you have to fill out a notice letting you guys know if there's a problem 15 days before. Well, I'm sure you guys will, how do you know there's a problem 15 days before a problem? So then I did do that. We filled out everything. Then I met with Mr. Simons in this room. And he says, well, you didn't fill out this one particular form. One particular form. I showed you pictures. I explained everything to you. They knew everything. They sent out somebody. They sent me 2 letters. Their answer. 2 letters saying, you don't have a permit for your basement, and something else about my basement being finished. They don't know. My basement's not finished. But the point is, 18 years ago, I rebuilt my house. And you can check your records. I spent over $3,000 between variances, permits, and whatever else I needed once my house was complete. Okay? $3,000, and I didn't say a word. I understood that's part of living in the town. I pay my tax. My taxes are over $18,000. So one of your gentlemen tells me I should build a berm against my fence to stop the problem. But explain to me how they sent me 2 letters, the same identical letters, the same identical dates from the first flood. From the first one. So they never even had the courtesy to change, at least change the dates and do it. But if I don't have a permit for my basement, that's on the town and the person who came to my house and went through my whole house, telling me what permits I needed for my pool, for my fence, for the extensions, for the variances. Now you send me a letter telling me that I don't have a permit for this? And regardless whether I have a permit or not, this would have never happened if those drains were serviced. Because I lived there for 30 years. We never had a problem. Yes, everybody has a little water here and there. I'll grant everybody that. But I never had a problem. We went out and saw the flood in the road. I sent letters, and somebody tells me, with the pictures that I sent, the water was this high. Do you think it might be just a little bit more than sticks? How about lifting up the manhole cover, which is about 5 feet from the drain? 5 feet from the drain. Never did it, and you could ask Mr. Murphy. We had to use a sledgehammer to open it. And if you had to use a sledgehammer, that means it's never been opened.
So, Mr. Templeman.
Yes.
we
And I
can go on-
apologize for
we
being
can go-
upset.
We can go on all afternoon here. I heard you.
Yeah, okay,
We
no, that's
have it.
fine. You just asked me a question.
I got, understood. I will convene a meeting next week to get to the bottom of it, and I will personally call you.
And do you remember speaking to me in December?
I do.
Okay, that's all I appreciate, Mr. Warner.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Annette Tepperman. Dominic Giordano.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for the time allowed me. My name is Dominic Giordano. I live at 18 Aberdeen Road in Smithtown. My wife and I moved here about 5.5 years ago from New Hyde Park, and we love it here. I live right behind the Stonebridge Golf Course. And I guess this has been going on for a long time. I have an issue with them. Mainly the area behind the fence of my house. I guess it's about 60 feet wide, the length of my property. Beyond the fence, it's been used as a dumping ground for clippings, grass clippings, leaves, dead trees. There's old dead trees, they're still standing, they're dead. And as a result, I find rats and snakes in my pool. And I got my grandkids coming over, I have to close the pool a couple of times. I'm wondering if, am I in the right place? Or if not, let
Is
me
this
know.
coming from the Stonebridge?
Yes, it's their property.
Condominium,
There's a fence,
Stonebridge's
there's a
property?
fence on the borderline.
Okay.
And it's right over, I have pictures if you want to see
So,
some.
if you could give the pictures to the clerk,
Sure.
and if you could send an email to my office, we'll contact those folks and we'll go investigate it and get to work on it.
Okay, I made a complaint about 1.5 years ago, but they didn't want to have anything to do with it. So somebody told me to call the park rangers, and they spoke to them, and they told me they gave them a fine, but they didn't do anything.
We just need you, if you could send an email depicting the exact, your address, your backyard, let us go investigate it and get to work on it, and we will be in touch with you,
Okay, that's it?
all right?
Can I
Okay,
just
thank
ask
you.
you a question? Is your house part of the?
No, I'm not in
Stonebridge-
development. I'm on Aberdeen Road.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of the 6th fairway.
Right.
Oh,
All right. And my house is not on the property, but there's a fence, and then the 6th fairway. I'm on Aberdeen Road.
Very good.
thank you.
All right, thank you.
No more speakers.
Okay, in that case, I will move to close.
Second.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello.
Yes.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.